Hi, my name is Adrian Davis. I'm a 16-year-old junior golfer from San Leandro, California. I currently attend Bishop O'Dowd High School as an incoming junior in the class of 2019. My home golf course is Metropolitan Golf Links in Oakland, California. I am currently a 2 handicap based solely on tournament scores. This video should give you a small insight into my golf game and how I manage my way around the golf course. Here we have the first hole at Metropolitan Golf Links. It's a par 4, about 370 yards. Bunker right, wind coming from right to left severely, but majority in my face. So I'm going to hit up the left side, which gives me the biggest portion of the fairway, avoiding the bunker, and allows me to have a good chance of hitting that green in 2. So I'm going to aim at my intermediate target, which is the pole, kind of on the left center of the fairway, and making sure that I'm aimed at that with my club, with my intermediate target. And I'm into the wind, so I'm not going to play it as far forward in my stance. One deep breath to relax the shoulders. And I've hit my target, so I'm in a good position to attack where the pin is for my second shot. For this shot, I have 185 yards to the pin, just a slight bit uphill into the wind. I've got a 5-iron here. The pin is in the back left portion of the green, so I'm not playing for this shot to get all the way to the pin, as my 5-iron is only about 185 yards. So with this shot is playing 195. I'm playing this to get to the middle of the green to give myself a nice little 10, 15, 20 footer up the hill for that birdie chance. Because going too far here is not a good option, and if I clear the green, then I'll have a really tough up and down. So I'm playing to a bigger target here. Majority of the pin is on the right side, so I'm going to try to play just a slight power fade into there. And by power fade, I'm just going to make sure I'm holding it off a bit at the top, but everything else is the same for a straight shot, so that's the only way it's just going to have that little fade. I'm picking my intermediate target about 5 yards to the right of the pin because I'm only playing a small fade. That way, I'm playing the fade because if I don't fade it, I'm still on the green. I'm still giving myself a chance for birdie. So just playing to the bigger target. Making sure that my club is aimed at my intermediate target and my feet are parallel to that. And the ball is just slightly back of where it used to be because of the wind going in my face from the right. So a deep breath and then a little bit of a pull, but I found the green, so I've got a nice 35 footer to try to make my birdie. Okay, so here we've got a 20-yard uphill bunker shot with an extreme false front about 5 yards just short of the pin. So here we have another 2-option shot where I can hit a lower degree lofted club and just kind of run it up that slope and hope for the right amount of speed. Or we can take a higher lofted club, land it over the false front, and have the right amount of spin to get it within that 3-foot radius. So I'm going for the high lofted shot. I have a 56 degree. I'm going to land it just over that false front to where it'll have enough spin to get close to that 3-foot radius, but not too much to where it'll fall down and I'll have a 50-footer. So I've got an uphill lie, so I know that the ball's going to get up, and this is kind of like a little bit of a thin bunkered area, so I know that I can't be too steep with it or else I'm going to hit the ball and it's going to go way over the green. So I need to make sure that my practice swings are the right distance to get over that false front, and also I have the right swing that'll put spin on the ball like I've kind of drew up there. And yeah, I'm making sure that I'm eyeing where I'm going to put the club when I go through, and that's what these little hesitations are for. And yeah. So just left of my target. I didn't get completely through the ball, but it landed past that false front, and I've got another 6-footer. Okay, so here I've got about a 25-yard flop shot over a bunker to a severely left to right pin location. I've got a side hill lie here, and I've decided to take a 56 degree, and I've got two options here. I can hit one up the left side and have it trickle down the slope, or I can hit just an extreme high flop shot just to the pin and have enough spin on it to where it'll stay within a 3 feet area of that pin. So judging by this lie, it's not too bad of a lie, so I know I can go under it with some spin. So I'm going to go with the flop shot just to that 3-foot radius. I need to make sure that I land it about 23 yards. I need to land it where the ball is going to end up, because I can't land it anywhere short or else that slope's going to take it. I'm going to have about a 20-footer. So what I'm going to do here is make sure that my practice swings have enough to get there and they have enough spin on them to get to that short little landing area. One thing I need to make sure of is to not go right under the ball to where I get nothing and it goes in this bunker. So I'm going to make sure that I survey the lie and that I'm not going right under the ball. So I'm taking a few where I'm looking at where I need to put this club to get it to that target. So landed a little short, but it's 6 feet away and I've got that uphill putt for par. So looking at this shot, I've paced it off. It is 12 yards to the pin. And I've also paced off where the green begins, and that is 4 yards from here. So I know that I have a 56 degree on an uphill lie from the rough, and this green is sloping from left to right about a half a cup. And just from my lie, I'm a little bit of a side hill lie, and I'm gonna slope a little bit to the right. So if you take that into account, it's about 1 cup to the left of the pin. That's how much it's gonna break. And so with this 56 degree, I know it's going to get into the air, and I know I need to land it a little bit closer to the hole so that way I can account for the spin. So I'm going to hit it about 8 yards. That means it's about 3 yards from where the fringe begins. And yeah, I'm going to just hit a normal chip shot, and I'm just going to play it with these practice swings like I would for the shot, making sure that I have enough swing to get it to that 8-yard landing spot. And yes. And there you have it. Okay, here we have a 20-yard chip shot with majority of green to work with and a little mound in the middle here that's going to largely influence where this ball is going to go. It's got a huge right to left slope, so I've got to take that into account. I've got an uphill lie here. Now normally I would always putt this, because judging by the stats and by everything, I've noticed that putting from the fringe gets you consistently closer proximity to the hole rather than chipping it. But just for the sake of this shot here, I want to show kind of how I think through the landing spot as well as the roll for this long shot here. So I have a pitching wedge here, and the only reason I'm using that is because of this slope here. I know I've got to get the ball somewhat in the air, and I'm going to land it about 8 yards onto the green. So I've still got to hit this somewhat in the air, but just it cannot have enough spin to where it's going to stop short of that slope. It's got to have enough roll. So my practice swings are going to go to that 8-yard landing spot. And reading the green, I can see that by the hole it breaks about a half a cup to the right, but this slope is going to be the majority of the break. So I'm going to aim my landing spot just to the right of the pin, about a cup. So I'll have it go to the right, this slope will take it to the left, and then that final little portion will take it back to the right towards the hole. So my practice swings are to that landing spot, and yeah. Just had a tad too much spin, but it's still 4 feet up the hill, and I've got a nice little par right there. Here we have a 27-footer, extremely downhill, and it's got a severe left to right break as it gets down the slope. On this putt, especially on this putt, I like to use a line on the ball because it allows me to make sure that I'm aimed at my intermediate target and that I can hit it on that line. And it's got to be on that line for putts like this, or else it's not going to get in the hole within that 2-foot radius. And in all of my tournaments, I use a line because I like to see not only where my intermediate target is, but also if my ball is rolling straight. That way I know after my tournament rounds how many I'm really rolling straight or not, just by judging with the putts that I've hit. So on this putt, I've walked it off. I use aim point, so I went down to the center and I noticed that it is about a 3-degree break. So it's 27 feet. I'm standing a foot behind the ball, and I'm using 3 fingers. I clench my fingers because on this green it's a severe slope, so I make my fingers bigger by clenching them, and that allows me to see the 3-degree break a lot better. So I know I have to aim kind of 6 feet to the left here, and I take my practice strokes behind the ball. A little thing about my grip is that I've developed this grip in the past year. It allows me to control the face of the putter a lot better than a standard grip or lead hand low grip. So I've just gotten comfortable with this grip. Aim 6 feet to the left. I know that I'm aimed there because I picked my intermediate target, and my ball and my club face are aimed at that intermediate target. Make sure that my feet are parallel to that, and make sure that my stance is wide so my lower body doesn't move. And here we go. Just a little bit too much speed, but I'm only about 5 feet up the hill, and I've got a nice little 2-putt on this tough 2-footer. Okay, here is a couple 4-footers. My short putting has been the biggest improvement in my game in the past year. Like in past years, I used to just go up to putts, short putts. I used to just hit them at the center, and I'd miss a lot, and I'd be really frustrated. But I've decided to really take my time with these and focus on the line and make sure that I'm looking at the speed just like it's any other putt. So on this putt here, I've been using aim point as well in the past year. It's really been a huge improvement in my speed as well as how many I've gotten within that proximity of where it should be. So I've determined already that it's a 1 degree of break. Starting at the low point of the hole, I'm going 1 degree. It's about aiming at the middle of the hole. That means that really not that much break. I'm going to line up the ball at that intermediate target that I've picked, which is where I did my aim point earlier, and also at the center of the hole where the ball is going to finish. So done that, and I have the putter on the back here so where I can have a line to that to make sure that that line that I just did with my ball is right. And then I go over to the ball, and one big thing that I've changed is the fact that I'm looking at the target on these short putts. This allows me to not get distracted by the stroke, and allows me to see that if my ball is starting on that right line as I hit the stroke. And another wide-based putt, my putter is aimed at where the same line where the ball is, so I know that it's aimed at the center of the hole, looking at the hole, and a confident stroke. Slight pull is still on the hole, but here we have another one. A little bit more uphill, but it's got a lot more left to right break, so on this one I'm going to go ahead and try with 2 degrees of break. That means I've got to aim at the left center of the hole. Lining up the ball with that left center of the hole, I take 2 practice swings behind, and then I come over the ball, and I see that, make sure that my eyes are at that left center point of the hole to make sure that my line is fine. A wide base, parallel with where I should be aiming. And just commit to that line. That's the biggest thing, is making sure that I'm committing to the line. And on this last putt, it's majority uphill, but there's still a little bit of a left to right break here. I've decided that it's a 1 degree of break, and so I start at the low point of the hole, and this means that I'm going to aim at the center of the hole. So kind of a basic putt here, and a couple practice strokes to gauge the speed. And I look at the back center of the hole and make sure that my club is lined up with my intermediate target and the finishing target. Another wide stance putt just to keep the lower body out of it, and confident stroke. And there you go.